Welcome in to the Mark and Brian radio program, and this gentleman's first time here on the show. He originally created what is now the art form of skateboarding, Stacey Peralta.
Hi, guys.
Now, heard bits and pieces about the beginning of this and how it all started, but tell us, you're a kid, you got a skateboard. What is it that happened and what you did to start this whole craze?
Well, we were growing up in an area of West Los Angeles affectionately called Dogtown by the locals, which is basically Venice, Ocean Park, Santa Monica.
Okay.
This was in the 70s when the area was like a seaside slum. It's not like it is today, which is Rodeo Drive at the beach. We were a bunch of surfers who wanted to be professional surfers, and we skateboarded. And we rode these little clay wheel skateboards just like they did in the 60s, and all of a sudden somebody invented urethane wheels in the 70s. And what happened when the urethane wheel was invented is California experienced the worst 200-year drought ever. So people were not allowed to fill their swimming pools with water. So we started skateboarding in people's swimming pools in their backyards without their permission. And we ended up developing this sport that's gone to be this massive thing, creating Tony Hawk. But we did it in a completely illegal fashion and having the time of our life. I mean, it was like a rock and roll party every day in someone's backyard. And then the cops would chase you out of that and you'd go to the next one.
You're inventing these maneuvers, but what were you doing before the dried, the empty pools? Were you just putting a sheet of plywood on a 2x4?
Yeah. You'd cut a dresser in half, and you'd go to the thrift store and buy a pair of roller skates with your friend, pay 50 cents.
Right.
Cut the roller skates in half. You take one set of wheels, he'd take the other set of wheels, and bolt them to your board.
But what were you using to get air for your excitement?
There was no air back then.
There was no.
No. The only thing there was back then was style.
Okay.
There was no extreme back then.
Wow.
And so we were the first guys to start that extreme movement by going into pools. But before that, we rode banked walls and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we did that and stuff in the schoolyards. There's like all these asphalt walls and stuff like that all over Los Angeles.
So talk about that moment in time. Go back to that first pool, or the idea, the concept, hey, let's try the pool. You weren't doing incredible maneuvers the first day, right?
No, in fact, the first day we were just trying not to land on our heads.
Wow.
But we had no idea. We got into a pool in Santa Monica, actually in Bel Air. We walked into an estate home.
Bel Air?
Yeah, well, that's where all the pools were. We walked into an estate home off of Barrington. There's this pool in the backyard, and we get there, and we have these boards, we've got these wheels. I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And the first guy goes up, and down he goes and slams on the floor. And we had to figure out how to do this. Can you click your wheels on tile? Can you hit the coping? Can you do a carve? Can you do a kick turn? We had no idea. And at the whole time we're trying to figure this out, we're looking over our backs to make sure that no one's going to come out of the house with steak knives or a gun, which eventually they would do, down the road when we started doing this.
And who would think that at one point you would master it to where, and this is still, to me, one of the most amazing maneuvers, you ride your board up the wall, you go off the wall, you put one hand on the side of the pool and hold your board on your feet upside. Amazing athletic maneuvers.
Well, no, but now, guys, God, look at Tony Hawk. He's doing spins in the air. And it was all based on what we started back in these backyard pools. And that's what the whole film is about this kind of renegade creation of this sport.
How old were you at the time when this first started? The pools?
15, 16, 17, those kind of ripe years, And, just like you guys, we weren't I'm assuming you guys weren't the valedictorians of your school, Maybe the class clowns.
Needless to say.
And, end up going, doing something fantastic with your lives. We were the same way. We were the guys that were just, screwing around in school, doing the best we could to get by. But what we loved doing was this thing that was way off the radar.
Do you think it would have been as fun for you if you got permission for these pools? Was that part of the excitement?
It was subversive, man. Anytime you can do things that's off the radar. This is like, you go to a soccer game today, there's parents around the field. There were no parents involved here. Yeah. We were doing this on our own, and it was like rock and roll. It was freedom. It was pure freedom. And every day we do it, we were learning something new. We were getting chased by a different person, and we were going on to the next thing.
And did the group build? Just you're telling your friends, and then.
What would happen is, because backyard pools would come and go so infrequently, what you wanted to do is you didn't want to tell anybody. And so if someone was going to enter your party, they had to bring something to the party. And if a kid couldn't skate well, then he had to bring a camera. Because we wanted to see what we looked like doing it. Wow. So if a kid had a camera, it's like he was welcome. Because we wanted to, have our pictures taken or the Super 8 footage shot.
Now, we'll talk about Lords of Dogtown in just a second. Let's talk a little bit about the documentary that was made a while back. That found great success.
Yeah, we made this film in 2000, not thinking that anybody in the world would want to see it. And we ended up getting into the Sundance Film Festival, and it just blew the festival apart. I won the Best Director. The film won the Best, Audience Award. And then it went on to win the Independent Spirit Award, which is like the independent version of the Academy Awards.
And what exactly did the documentary talk about, show? Because you couldn't have had much footage from back when you were...
Oh, no, there was a ton of footage.
Really?
Absolute ton of footage. Seriously, because, as I said, because there were so many kids that wanted to be a part of our scene that they were documenting what we were doing. 14-year-old, 15-year-old kids were shooting pictures in Super 8 footage back then. So there's this amazing amount of footage from, when we were growing up developing this.
Wow.
Did we expect this to happen? Never. Never in 1,000 years.
Just having a good time.
Yeah. I mean, all of us figured that as soon as that was over, we'd go back to our, menial jobs, which, that's where we're all kind of headed.
So now, the movie that's in theaters now, Lords of Dogtown, did you direct this film?
No, I wrote the film. Catherine Hardwicke directed it. She directed the movie 13, if you guys have seen that.
Sure.
Fantastic film. Yeah.
And who all's in it, and what does the movie basically deal with, the entire story? Or
it deals with a section of the story, but Heath Ledger's in it, Emile Hirsch is in it, John Robinson, Johnny Knoxville, Victor Rasuk. It's quite an amazing cast of young people. And what it is, it's kind of a rags to riches story. It's about a bunch of dysfunctional kids that are sponsored by a surf shop in this area named Dogtown. And the guy that runs the surf shop is named Skip Engblom, and he corrals these kids together and says, we're going to make a skateboard team. And they go to a contest, they take the contest, and then all the other manufacturers in the sport come down on these kids and steal them away from Skip. It breaks his business apart, and these kids go on to be famous and rich. Their friendships get tried, and then they come back at the very end and realize, we've been through this great road, but, it all comes down to us being friends again.
Speaking of famous and rich, at the age of 19, you left, it says you left your career and partner to form the skateboard manufacturing company, Powell Peralta. Now, you told me in there that in your 20s, you owned a company that was making $30 million a year.
Right.
In your 20s.
Right. Well, I was a professional skateboarder at 17 getting paid more than my parents were. Wow. And I was a 17-year-old kid. They were middle-class people. They had good jobs, but I was getting twice what they were making. And, they were shocked that these checks were coming to the house. But I looked at that as a kid and went, you know what? Something tells me this ain't going to last. That I better figure out what I'm going to do next, because it's going to be a really hard landing if I don't. Yeah. And I thought, what do I want to do? Well, what I wanted to do is I wanted to start a skateboard business. And that's what I did.
Speaking of hard landings, what's the worst you ever had in all your years of skateboarding?
This broken arm. I broke my arm. It healed very quickly. The first day I got back on it, I broke it again.
Oh!
Yeah. That was at the very, very end of my career, though, and it was a message saying, look, pal, your time is up as a professional. It's time to move into the business, and that's what I did. Let's take some calls. Ronald on line 4. You're on the air with Stacey.
Well, good morning, Mark and Brian.
Hey.
Stacey.
Yes.
Man, it's been a long time. My name's Ron Gorman. I went to school with you in Venice High.
Oh, cool, man.
We made our first skateboard together in woodshop. It's been years. Dude, nice. I've been trying to get a hold of you just to say thank you, because of Dogtown, it was like you went into my memory banks and pulled everything out of my memory.
Well, cool, man.
Years. And I've been just trying to get a hold of you to send you an email just to say thanks, man. And
we had a great time making it. It was a lot of fun, man. It's brought a lot of people together.
He's an old woodshop buddy.
Yes.
Steve, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, guys. You're doing okay. Hey, Stacey, good to talk to you, man.
Thanks.
One thing, I'm a Hispanic living about 30 miles from the beach. Got to go out to the beach once in a great weekend, but got to see a lot of the old-time surfers ride some nice waves. But one of the really fun things I've seen recently is your documentary, Giant Waves.
Riding Giants.
What an excellent documentary.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's all part of this culture, man. It's all part of the Western piece of civilization that we're all part of.
What a great soundtrack. We got the soundtrack to Lords of Dogtown. One would think you were very careful about the songs you chose for this soundtrack.
Oh, you have to be. It's all about the 70s. I mean, that's one of the richest decades of music there's ever been. I mean, look at all the bands on the Doggone.
It's so good.
Rod Stewart, Deep Purple, Allman Brothers. It's all, it's the soundtrack to our lives. I mean, you guys
ABBA.
You know this music. Yeah, right.
Captain and Tennille. All the good ones.
Our guest today is Stacey Peralta. We will take your calls at 1-800-955-5567.
We'll
return with more right after this. It is the Mark and Brian radio program, 95.5 KLOS.
Mark and Brian radio program. Let's get back to some more with Stacey Peralta, creator of the Lords of Dogtown.
All right, there's a ton of calls. Let's go to Wendy up on line 1. Wendy.
Hey, Stace, it's Wendy Cowan.
Hey, Wendy, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
It's been ages.
Yeah?
Just wanted to say, you know what? You're awesome, dude.
Thanks.
Now, it says here that Wendy grew up 5 houses from you.
She grew up right down the street. I surfed with her brother. Bobby grew up with him and stuff like that. So, yeah, small world.
It really is. And you know what, Stace? I am your biggest fan.
Oh, cool.
I mean, you are the highlight of all of my life. Hey, I live down the street from that dude.
Cool. Who would have ever thought, huh?
Well, you know what? And it's such an honor to know you and the whole family. You know, all you guys are so great. I'm so sorry to hear about your dad, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just wanted to say, it's awesome. Loved Riding Giants.
Thanks, Wendy.
See everything that you do
Cool.
as often as I can. So just hang in there.
Say hi to the family.
I sure will. Sometime when you're down, stop on over.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you, Wendy. Rick, you're on the air.
Hey, how are you doing, Mark and Brian?
Good, bud.
Good. Stacey, hey, I grew up in the 70s out here in Riverside, and for me, reading Skateboard magazine, when you're like in junior high, all you had was still photos of all these images, and Venice Beach and all that down there was just, a million miles away, basically. So when the movie came out, the documentary, it was huge, because then all of a sudden, instead of just seeing still pictures of all you guys riding, you learned about the personalities and the voices and everything else. And
it's funny, Henry Rollins said the same thing when he saw the film. Same exact thing.
It was just awesome, and all the parks that were down there. I mean, it was just, that was the places we all really wanted to go, but we had no way to get there.
Right.
So, seeing it on the movie was fantastic.
Oh, cool, man. Thank you.
Just to let you know, I still have my Sims Hardcore hanging in my garage.
It's worth a lot on eBay.
Well,
if you need to cover the mortgage 1 month.
You're like LA's favorite son in a way.
I'm just a spoke,
Well, I know, but we're getting a lot of calls here from saying, "Oh, I used to skateboard with you in Reseda," or "Hey, remember?" This is your home.
That's what the film's all about. It's like we're really lucky in that we were the start of something. We were right on the cusp of something right when it began. This group of guys that forms this crew in Dogtown, and we just got lucky to be in the right place at the right time. And it's a cultural deal. That's what it's all about. It's a cultural thing, and we were right at that moment when it started.
Let's talk a little bit about skateboards themselves, because you've had a company, or you still have one. What makes a great skateboard? What's the going price for a great skateboard? And what is a classic great skateboard from back in the set?
Well, the classic great skateboard is something probably made in the 60s or 70s, a fiberglass board, small urethane wheels and stuff like that. And they're worth thousands of dollars now on eBay. There's a whole trading crew. And right now, I'm not in the skateboarding business anymore, but I think boards were $150. The thing that's so cool about skateboarding is it's so democratic. You don't have to go to Aspen to do it. You know what I mean? Any kid, any urban city kid can just walk out his front door, and there's his terrain. He doesn't need a basketball court. He doesn't need a team. He can do it anywhere. The only thing he's got to do is look over his shoulder, because he's going to get pretty much kicked out everywhere he does it.
How good is Tony Hawk?
Tony Hawk's a phenomenon. He's a phenomenon. I mean, he's as good as Michael Jordan was in basketball. He's as good as Tiger Woods is in golf. I mean, Tony and I are connected. I was the one who discovered him. Found him when he was 13, and I took him from a little amateur to a professional skateboarder. We worked together for almost 15 years.
Wow.
He was one of the kids I sponsored. So
I kind of didn't know anything about him. We had him on the program, and of course, his phenom, as you're talking about, blew up on the phones. Had no idea.
Oh, no. He's not only a phenomenal skateboarder, but he's invented like 50 maneuvers that few people can even touch. He's a sensation. He's the first guy to give skateboarding a face internationally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cole's on the air. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. My question is, that time in your life when you're starting out, that age, it's hard enough with relationship with your parents to begin with. Now you're getting in trouble, then you're getting big checks. Were they supportive? Were they behind you all the way?
I was really, really lucky. My parents were really liberal. They were really cool, and all they ever said to me, as long as you're keeping healthy, you're not getting in trouble, you're fine with us. And I didn't share everything with them. I mean, I didn't let them know everything, but, I came home, I had dinner at the table, we talked, and everything was cool, and they said, he looks okay, let him go. The phone didn't ring too often, so that was okay with them.
Just check in with us periodically.
Just let us know, but they were very, very liberal.
Let's go to James on line 5. James, you're on the air with Stacey.
Hey, Stacey.
Hey.
Big fan of your corporation back in the 80s, Peralta. I mean, I had the first board as a Rap Bones, and I just want to let you know I appreciate all your filmmaking, The Search for Animal Chin. I'm 33 now, I have a child. I show him that movie maybe once a week. I got him out there, and I just appreciate, the way you had your corporation was just the way you had it was like Andy Warhol-ish, the way you did all your artwork and
cool,
your commercials and everything, and just your skate. The Bones Brigade. I mean, I'm big fans of those guys, and you're pretty much made skateboarders today. I mean, Eric Costin and Paul Rodriguez, these guys will not, be anything without you, and, I just appreciate everything you did for the sport.
Well, thanks, man. We've had a great time doing it, man. We've had a lot of freedom to do what we wanted to do, and that was what it was all about,
Herb, you're on the air.
Yeah, Stacey.
Yeah.
We have mutual friends. I grew up with Russ Howell. In fact, I actually sold him his first set of urethane wheels. And
Russ Howell?
Yeah, Russ.
You go back, man.
Took you over to Australia and broke you in on traveling. I've been around for a long time, and I pretty much controlled the east side with Waldo Autry and the North Long Beach boys. We saw you guys like Skatopia. I think I skated with you with Skatopia.
Let me ask a question, you guys. When he says I pretty much controlled this area, what does he mean by that?
I don't know. What did you mean by that?
At one time, I was in Compton. That's the area that I skated, Compton, Linwood, up to the south central border.
Right.
And a lot of the pools were empty because of the socioeconomic background.
Oh, so you kind of controlled the pools in that area?
Well, what happened was I brought a bunch of old skate stuff that was demoed to me, and I gave it out to all the kids, and I accidentally gave one to a kid named Kevin, who was the little brother of the leader of the East Side Crips. They came to the pool to make a visit, about 30 of them, and he stepped down in the pool and asked who Herb was, and I said I was, and he goes, from now on, you're the king of the Compton pool.
There you go. There you go.
So
Nice,
that
man.
sort of regime that happens?
Wow. Yeah, well, that kind of stuff happened. It was really, but for where we were, it was whoever was best was the king. And that changed from day to day.
Wow.
I'm going to be king today.
Pete on line 13. We're talking about this soundtrack that he brought us. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey.
Hey, listen, Stacey, caught your movie last night, and I got to tell you what, one comment. I grew up on the East Coast, so it's a little different. The pools are above ground, and every time you drop down, you rip up the vinyl,
Right.
But I'll tell you what, last night I didn't know what to expect from your movie, and it brought me so into the 70s. You forget the skateboarding part of it. You brought back the 70s like I've never seen a movie bring back the 70s.
Cool,
Everything, Stacey, from when you had to work, and you still wanted to play, but you had to work, and the music, and just everything. You brought back the 70s, and this movie was phenomenal.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Pete. See, it's if there's an umbrella sort of feeling about this movie, you're touching a nerve of all the kids that grew up in this area at this time.
Well, yeah, but it's also what happened is we look at it as a virus. We were infected with this virus as a kid, and we ended up going all over the world and infecting kids with this virus that kind of emanated from that area of Santa Monica.
I have to repeat this. You were telling me off the air this pool thing. They'd go to pools. There was a drought, but some of the pools weren't empty.
But they were beautiful shapes that we knew were good.
So you would get a pump. It got to this level.
It got to the point where we got so hungry to skateboard pools that guys would show up with pumps. And at first it was like, well, we'd pump out a house that might be being remodeled so no one lived there. Mm-hmm. But then that wasn't enough, and so guys started going to houses and pumping out pools whose inhabitants still lived there. And I remember there was one pool in Santa Monica where I wasn't at this particular situation, but a guy came out of this house with steak knives wanting to stab these kids that were running his pool. I was in a pool one day in the valley. It was a beautiful pool. I go in the backyard, we're skating, and I asked this guy, I go, how long has this been empty? He goes, well, we just emptied it this morning. He goes, we put a pump in last night. I went, you mean the people live here? And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, they won't be home for an hour though. Yeah. I mean, it was like that type of situation.
So you got a lawyer. He's got a pool. Before he gets ready for work, he's going to go take a dip. 5:30 in the morning. Hey! Oh.
Now, do you ever go back to these neighborhoods where you did this, and you can actually pinpoint the houses where it all began for you?
I live in one right now. I live in a neighborhood in Santa Monica, and my 14-year-old son came to the house a couple of months ago, and he goes, hey, we're riding a pool down the street, and he took me to it. He wanted to show me how he was doing, and it was a pool that I skateboarded in 30 years ago. I went home, looked in one of the skateboarder magazines, found the pictures of me, and took it to show him and his friends. It was so trippy.
Neat.
And here he is skating the same lines I skated 30 years ago. But then the next week, he snuck into a backyard pool a couple of blocks away, and it was a pool that I'd never ridden. So
pool I'd never ridden.
Yeah. And now my son's riding it, so it was very, very funny.
Let's go to Brett. Good morning, Brett. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry, no, Stacey, you rock, man. Just want to start off with that. But I was calling in regards to Jay Adams, man. Whatever happened to him?
Jay's doing good now. He's in Hawaii. He just got married to a really beautiful girl. He's not in jail. He's really turned his life around, and he's looking really healthy, and he's surfing a lot. So things are looking really good for him. Just saw him about a week ago.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
What did skateboarding give you that surfing did not?
Well, skateboarding gave us all a life. You know, surfing back in the 70s was, you had to be the absolute best in the world to be a professional surfer, and there was only like 10 slots in the entire universe to get paid. But when skateboarding came about, we were the guys at the head of the line, so we got all the opportunities. I mean, we were going to all over the world demonstrating skateboarding for kids.
Wow.
Getting paid to do it, and it gave us a life. That's what it was about. Couldn't get that in surfing.
Well, this guy, Stacey, sat down and wrote the screenplay, kind of the story based on the story of his childhood and growing up and skating these pools. And that is now a film. It's called Lords of Dogtown. It's in theaters now.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack is in stores?
Yeah, it's in stores.
Okay.
And I brought you guys shirts and stuff like that. So, and I'm going to get you the other films too as well.
Please, love to see it.
Yeah.
Stacey, thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
The very best of luck to you, and you're working on other scripts as well.
Oh yeah, keep moving forward, man. It's like summer vacation for the next 30 years. You guys know the deal.
Oh, sure.
Do what you love doing and get paid for it.
Stacey, thank you for your time.
We'll be right back here on the Mark and Brian radio program, 95.5 KLOS.